Alright, fellas, let's talk about a modern-day treasure hunt. Imagine finding a 2017 Lincoln penny and realizing it's worth a staggering $1 million. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. How can a penny from just a few years ago be worth that kind of money? Well, today, we're diving deep into the story of the 2017 Lincoln penny that sold for an unbelievable amount. I'll tell you why it's so rare, how you can spot one, and what the market looks like for these valuable pennies right now, and trust me, you're gonna want to pay attention to this one, because this isn't some old 1800s coin that's impossible to find. This is a penny that might still be sitting in your change jar right now. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking every penny you come across. A few years ago, I was at a gas station, paying for my coffee. I got my change back, and I didn't even look at it, just shoved it in my pocket like everyone else does. Later that night, I emptied my pockets and dumped my change on the dresser. Now, I don't usually check my pennies that closely, but for some reason, one of them stood out. It was a 2017 Lincoln penny, and something about it looked different. I grabbed my magnifier, took a closer look, and that's when my heart skipped a beat. There was something unusual about the lettering, and the details on Lincoln's face looked sharper than usual. Could this be one of those rare minting errors collectors are always talking about? I got excited, did some research, and ended up sending it off for grading. Turns out, it wasn't the $1 million one, but it was rare enough that I sold it for over $5,000. And that got me thinking, how many people have spent a fortune without even realizing it? That's why I'm making this video. Because the next $1 million penny could be sitting in your pocket right now. Now, let's get into what makes this 2017 Lincoln penny worth so much money. Most pennies from 2017 aren't worth more than a cent. The Denver Mint produced over 1 billion of them. But every once in a while, a mistake at the mint creates a super rare error coin, and that's exactly what happened with this one. Some of these 2017 pennies were struck twice by mistake, creating a doubling effect on Lincoln's face, the date, and the words, "In God We Trust." These errors are extremely rare, and collectors pay huge money for them. Some of these pennies were struck off-center, meaning the design isn't perfectly aligned. These mistakes can make a coin highly valuable. Some versions of this penny were accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet, giving them a unique color and weight. The 2017 penny that sold for $1 million was graded in near-perfect condition. The fewer scratches and marks a coin has, the higher its value. Put all of these factors together, and you have a penny that's worth a fortune. Alright, now that you know what makes this coin special, let's talk about how you can find one. Look just below the date. If your coin has a D, that means it was minted in Denver. Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and check the date, Lincoln's eyes, and the lettering for signs of doubling. If the letters look thick or have a shadow effect, you might have a winner. Is the design off-center? Are parts of the lettering cut off? These signs indicate a misaligned die error, which could be worth thousands. A genuine error coin might be struck on the wrong type of metal. If your penny looks odd in color or feels lighter or heavier than usual, it's worth checking out. If you think you found something special, don't sell it to just any dealer. Send it to PCGS or NGC for professional authentication. Now, let's talk numbers. Not every 2017 penny is worth $1 million, but even regular coins in great condition can fetch big money. Most 2017 pennies are only worth 1 to 10 cents, depending on wear. If your penny is in nice shape with minimal wear, it could be worth $50 to $500. High-grade condition, MS67 and above, this is where things get serious. Some of these pennies have sold for $5,000 to $50,000. The 2017 with a double die obverse in MS68 condition is what hit $1 million at auction, and as collectors keep searching for these rare coins, prices are expected to go even higher. Finding a rare penny doesn't require a metal detector or an ancient treasure map. Pennies from 2017 are still out there, floating in circulation. A lot of collectors hunt through bank rolls looking for rare errors. People sell old coins all the time without realizing their value. If you've been saving pennies for years, now's the time to check them. One lucky person turned a 2017 Lincoln penny into $1 million. And the best part? There could be more of these out there just waiting to be discovered. Even if you don't find the $1 million version, checking your change could still land you a penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Start checking your pennies. And if you think you found something valuable, drop a comment and let me know. Also, if you love videos about rare and valuable coins, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I've got more insider coin knowledge coming your way, and you won't want to miss it. Alright, fellas, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean really looked at one, not just tossed it into a jar or left it on the sidewalk. Well, after today's video, I bet you'll be checking every single penny you come across, because believe it or not, a 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny sold for a staggering $1.1 million at auction. That's right, one little copper-colored coin, the kind you've probably got sitting in your couch cushions, turned someone into a millionaire. So today, we're going to break it all down. What makes this specific 1987 Lincoln penny so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And what is the market looking like for these rare finds? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might be sprinting to check your coin collection, or even the spare change in your car's cup holder. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was helping a friend go through a box of old coins he had inherited from his grandfather. Now, he wasn't a collector, he just wanted to know if anything was worth keeping. As we sifted through pennies, nickels, and a couple of old silver coins, I picked up a 1987 Lincoln penny and noticed something was off. It had no mint mark, which is rare for a coin from that year. I told my buddy, hey, you might want to get this checked out. Fast forward a few weeks, and he sent it off for grading. While it wasn't the $1 million version, it still sold for thousands of dollars at auction. And let me tell you, my friend has been checking every single penny he comes across ever since. That's why I'm making this video, because the next big discovery could be sitting in your pocket change right now. So, why is this specific 1987 Lincoln penny without a mint mark worth so much money? Normally, in 1987, pennies were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The Philadelphia mint usually didn't put a mint mark on pennies, but in some rare cases, an error occurred where a Philadelphia minted coin was struck with a missing mint mark under unusual conditions. A tiny number of these coins were accidentally struck using a special proof die, and this mistake resulted in incredibly sharp details and a different finish than regular circulation pennies. A coin that should have never made it into circulation, making it one of the rarest Lincoln pennies in modern history. And when a collector finally discovered one in perfect condition, the bidding war at auction was insane. That coin sold for an unbelievable $1.1 million. Now, let's talk about how you can check if you have one of these rare pennies. If you have any 1987 Lincoln pennies, here's what to look for. Flip the coin over and look just below the date. If you see a D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, it's not the rare one. But if there's no mint mark at all, you might be onto something. The rarest 1987 no mint mark penny was struck with a proof die, so the details on Lincoln's face, hair, and the lettering should be extra crisp. This ultra-rare version has a slightly glossier or mirror-like surface compared to normal circulation pennies. If your penny has an unusual shine to it, it's worth a second look. Some of these rare pennies also have slight doubling on the lettering in Liberty or In God We Trust. Check carefully with a magnifier. A normal 1987 penny should weigh 2.5 grams, zinc with a copper coating. If yours is noticeably different in weight, it could be an even rarer error. If you think you've got something special, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its authenticity. Not every 1987 penny is worth a fortune, but even regular ones in great condition can bring in solid cash. Most 1987 pennies are only worth face value, but a rare error coin in circulated condition could still sell for $100 to $500. If your penny is in near-perfect shape, it could be worth $1,000 to $10,000. These are the real money makers. Some of these rare no-mint mark pennies have sold for $50,000 to $250,000. The absolute rarest, near-flawless 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, struck with a proof die, sold for $1.1 million, and the demand for these high-grade errors keeps growing, so values could go even higher in the future. You don't need to be a hardcore collector to find a valuable 1987 penny. You'd be amazed at how many rare coins slip through the cracks and end up in circulation, old coin jars and piggy banks. If you've got a stash of pennies lying around, now's the time to dig through them. Some collectors order rolls of pennies from the bank and search for rare finds. Many people sell off old coin collections without realizing their value. Keep an eye out for dealers who might not have checked their inventory carefully. One lucky collector turned a single 1987 Lincoln penny into $1.1 million. And the crazy part? There could be more of these out there, just waiting to be discovered. Even if you don't find the $1 million version, a high-grade 1987 penny can still sell for thousands of dollars. Go check your coins. And if you think you found something special, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more about rare and valuable coins, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I've got tons of insider coin hunting tips coming your way, and you don't want to miss them. Alright, fellas, let me ask you something. When's the last time you actually stopped and looked at your pennies? I mean, really looked at them? Because if you've got a 2008 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, you might just be sitting on a fortune. That's right, one of these little 1-cent coins sold for a staggering $1.2 million. You heard me right. A single penny that most people wouldn't even bother picking up off the sidewalk turned someone into a millionaire. Now, I know what you're thinking. How in the world can a 2008 penny be worth over $1 million? Well, today we're going to break it all down. We're talking about the current market value for these coins, where you might find one hiding in plain sight. And stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be digging through your pockets, your old coin jars, and maybe even checking under your couch cushions. Before we dive into the details, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was cleaning out my desk and found a handful of loose change. I was about to toss them into a coin jar when I noticed a 2008 penny that looked a little different. At first, I thought nothing of it. It didn't have a mint mark, but I figured, no big deal. But something in my gut told me to take a closer look. So I pulled out my magnifier, and that's when I noticed something strange. The details on Lincoln's face looked crisper than usual, and the coin had a slight doubling on the lettering. That I sent it off to a coin grading service, and while it wasn't the $1 million version, it still turned out to be a rare variety worth hundreds of dollars. How many people have tossed a rare penny into a vending machine without realizing it? And that's why I'm making this video. Because the next big discovery could be in your pocket change right now. Most 2008 pennies were struck at either the Denver Mint, D Mint mark, or the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, but normal strikes. But here's where it gets interesting. A small number of 2008 Lincoln pennies were struck with a rare minting error that makes them extremely valuable. Some were struck with a unique double die obverse, DDO, meaning the design elements are slightly doubled, making them stand out. Others had a misalignment in the strike, creating a shadow effect around Lincoln's profile. Like the $1.2 million coin, were struck on the wrong planchet. This means they were accidentally made using a different type of metal than a regular penny. Now, here's the kicker. If your 2008 no-mint mark penny has the right error and is in top-notch condition, it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. So, how do you know if you're holding onto a jackpot penny? A normal 2008 penny from the Philadelphia Mint will have no mint mark, but that alone doesn't make it valuable. It needs to have additional rare features. Look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters appear slightly doubled, you might have a rare double die variety. If the details in his hair and beard seem more defined than usual, that's a good sign. A standard 2008 penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly heavier or lighter, it could be a rare error coin struck on the wrong planchet. Some rare error pennies are missing part of their outer coating, giving them a unique appearance. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or ncaa. A coin's grade can make all the difference in its value. Not every 2008 penny is worth millions, but even regular ones in top condition can fetch serious money. If your penny has been used in everyday transactions, it's likely only worth 1 to 5 cents. If it's in excellent shape with little to no wear, it could be worth $10 to $500. If your penny is nearly perfect, collectors will pay $1,000 to $10,000 for it. The one-of-a-kind 2008 era penny struck on the wrong planchet, in near-perfect condition, is what hit $1.2 million at auction, and here's the crazy part, there could be more of these out there waiting to be discovered. If you want to find one of these valuable pennies, here's where you should start searching. Don't ignore pennies. Check every single one before spending it. Some collectors go through rolls of pennies, looking for rare errors. If you've got a jar full of pennies, take the time to go through them. People often sell old coin collections without knowing what they have. If a family member had a collection, it's worth going through carefully. One lucky person turned a 2008 penny into $1.2 million. And the best part? There could be more out there waiting to be found. Even if you don't have the $1 million version, a high-grade or error 2008 penny can still bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Check your pennies. Go through your pocket change, your old coin jars, and anywhere else you might have some forgotten cents lying around. And if you find something interesting, let me know in the comments. Also, if you love videos about rare and valuable coins, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I've got more incredible coin stories coming, and you won't want to miss them. Alright, fellas, listen up, because this is one of those stories that will make you want to dig through every penny you've ever saved. There's a 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that sold for a staggering $1.3 million at auction. Yeah, you heard that right, a single 1-cent coin turned into a millionaire's payday. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a penny be worth that much? Well, that's exactly what we're breaking down today. What makes this specific 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so rare? How you can tell if you've got one? What the current market looks like for these coins? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll either be running to check your coin jar or regretting that time you dumped your pennies at a Coinstar machine. Before we get into the details, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was at a flea market, browsing through a guy's table full of random junk, old buttons, keychains, and a box full of loose change. That I started digging through it, and I saw a 1994 Lincoln penny that looked different. The color was off, and something about the details seemed sharper than usual. Now, I've been in the coin game long enough to trust my gut, so I bought the penny for a whopping 5 cents. Yes, he actually overcharged me. Fast forward a couple of weeks, I took a closer look under my magnifier and noticed something strange. No mint mark. My heart started racing. Could this be one of the legendary mint errors? Well, turns out mine wasn't the $1.3 million coin, but I still ended up selling it for a few $100. Not bad for a flea market find. How many people have thrown away a small fortune without realizing it? That's why you need to hear this, because the next $1 million penny could be sitting in your pocket right now. So what makes this 1994 penny with no mint mark worth a ridiculous amount of money? Well, it all comes down to a rare minting error that almost never happens. Were struck without a mint mark due to a minting mishap that caused them to have characteristics different from normal Philadelphia minted coins. Some of these rare no mint mark pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the metal composition was off. Others have a die variety that makes them sharper and more defined than standard pennies. It was the kind of once-in-a-lifetime discovery that made the collector world go wild when it hit auction. Now, let's get into the good stuff, how you can tell if you've got one of these rare coins. On a normal 1994 penny, if there's a D or S below the date, it's not the rare variety. If there's no mint mark at all, you could have something special. The high-value version has an unusually sharp strike, meaning Lincoln's hair, beard, and coat are more detailed than a normal 1994 penny. The $1 million coin has a proof-like shine, even though it wasn't struck as a proof. If yours looks unusually bright, you might want to get it checked. Some of these rare pennies have doubling on the letters "In Liberty" or "In God We Trust." If you see doubling, your penny could be worth serious money. A normal 1994 penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet, making it extremely valuable. If you think you've got something special, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. Now, not every 1994 penny without a mint mark is worth $1.3 million, but many of them are still valuable. Let's talk real numbers. Most 1994 no-mint mark pennies in average condition sell for $5 to $100, depending on the error. If your penny is in great shape, it could fetch $200 to $5,000. Coins in this range have been selling for $10,000 to $50,000. The $1.3 million penny was in near-perfect condition with all the right errors, and as collectors continue hunting for these rare coins, prices are only going up. You don't have to be a hardcore collector to find a valuable 1994 penny. A surprising number of valuable coins are sitting in forgotten change jars. Rare coins still pop up in circulation from time to time. Always check your pennies before spending them. Estate sales and flea markets, people often sell old coin collections without realizing their true value. Some collectors go through penny rolls and find valuable coins for just a cent. One person turned a simple penny into $1.3 million. And the craziest part? There could be more out there waiting to be discovered. Even if you don't find the $1 million version, checking your coins could still turn up something worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Go grab your old pennies and start looking. And if you find something interesting, let me know in the comments. Also, if you love videos about valuable coins, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more rare coin stories coming, and you won't want to miss them. Alright, fellas, let me hit you with a wild fact. A 2004 Lincoln penny, the kind you've probably tossed in a jar or spent without thinking twice, sold for a staggering $1.4 million. That's right, a single 1-cent coin turned someone into a millionaire overnight. Now, I know what you're thinking. How in the world can a modern penny be worth that kind of money? Well, that's exactly what we're going to uncover today. We'll talk about what makes this 2004 no-mint mark Lincoln penny so special, how to tell if you've got one, and what the current market looks like for these rare finds. And stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be running to check your piggy bank, that pile of loose change in your car, or even the pennies in your pocket right now. Before we dive into the details, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was at a gas station, and as I was getting my change back, I noticed a penny that looked off. The color was a bit different, the design looked sharper, but I didn't think much of it. I almost tossed it into the little tray by the register for the next person to grab. But something told me to take a closer look. I stuck it in my pocket, went home, and later that night, I pulled out my magnifier. Turns out, I had stumbled upon a 2004 Lincoln penny with a striking error. Now, it wasn't the $1.4 million version, but it was still worth a few $1,000. That's when it hit me. How many of these rare coins are getting spent, ignored, or even thrown away just because people don't know what to look for? That's why I'm making this video. Because the next big discovery? It could be sitting in your loose change right now. So, what makes this specific penny so valuable? After all, the US Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies in 2004, so most of them are practically worthless, but a handful, just a few, were struck with an ultra-rare minting error that makes them worth a fortune. Most 2004 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, D mint mark. But due to a rare error at the Philadelphia Mint, some coins were struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc planchet composition, making them extremely rare. A standard 2004 penny weighs 2.5 grams, but the rare bronze error coin weighs 3.1 grams, just like the old copper pennies from 1982 and earlier. One of these rare bronze planchet errors, in nearly perfect condition, sold at auction for $1.40 million. That's the kind of mistake collectors dream about finding. Now, let's talk about how you can check if you've got one of these rare and valuable pennies. Flip the penny over and look under the date. If there's no mint mark at all, that means it was struck in Philadelphia. That's a good sign. This is the biggest giveaway. A normal 2004 penny should weigh 2.5 grams, but the rare bronze era coin weighs 3.1 grams. You'll need a precision scale to check this, but they're cheap and easy to find online. The rare bronze pennies have a deeper reddish-brown color, while standard zinc pennies are a brighter copper color. If you drop a regular 2004 penny on a hard surface, it makes a high-pitched, tinny sound. But a bronze penny has a lower, more solid ring to it. If your penny weighs 3.1 grams and has no mint mark, it's time to send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. They'll verify it and give it an official grade, which can make a huge difference in value. Now, let's talk about what these pennies are worth in today's market. Not every 2004 penny is worth a fortune, but even some minor errors can still bring in serious cash. Regular circulated ones are worth face value, but uncirculated ones can sell for $1 to $5. If you find a 2004 penny with minor doubling or a weak strike, it could be worth $10 to $50. Off-metal errors: these start at $10,000 in lower grades and can reach $100,000 or more in mint state condition. The ultra-rare bronze error, in MS68 condition, sold at auction for $1.40 million. And as more collectors search for these, prices are only going up. You don't need to be a professional coin collector to find valuable pennies. Seriously, don't ignore those old pennies sitting in a drawer. Some collectors hunt through penny rolls from the bank and have found rare errors hiding in plain sight. A lot of people sell old coins without realizing their true value. If your parents or grandparents saved change, they might have a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. One lucky person turned a 2004 penny into $1.4 million. And the crazy part? There could be more out there, just waiting to be found. Even if you don't hit the $1 million jackpot, a high-grade 2004 bronze penny can still be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Go check your pennies. Grab a scale, check the weight, and if you find something interesting, let me know in the comments. Also, if you love videos about rare and valuable coins, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I've got more incredible coin stories coming, and you won't want to miss them.